Hello, YouTube! We're back with some more Dawn of Sorrow. By the way, Dawn D of Sorrow S on the Nintendo DS.
I hope. I mean, Dawn of Sorrow makes like no sense as a title, so I guess that's actually what they were going for.
I mean, clearly it is. It's just like for the GBA, they called it Game, but Aria. Remember that? That was bad. I should have thought about that more. RIP. Oh, we lost all our subs. Actually, we're up a couple more now. We're almost getting to 1K.
We gained like 150 subs this year.
Thank you to those 950 bots out there. No, actually, I honestly think that like none of them would be bots because why? I mean, first of all,
yeah, why?
Why? And also, don't you have to like pay to have people like bot your account?
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't do that. So. Also, it'd be really pathetic if we botted the account and only got to, like, 900. It'd be like, hey, we just... Oh, sorry, our bot's unsubbed from you. No! So, yeah, we're going to get to 1K, and we'll have a 1K special. You know what we're going to do at that 1K special? Go play Vidya.
Wow.
No, maybe I'll do a face reveal, even though...
It's literally... I think it's the channel, like, what do they call it? Trailer?
Yeah.
Soma!
Oh, yeah, that's right. Soma! Hmm? I told you not to get involved, didn't I? Arikado, I think that's how it was. What are you doing here? I thought that you were protecting Mina. Mina is fine. My colleagues are providing protection. Besides, keeping you under observation gets priority. You're still treating me as if I were the Dark Lord. Haven't you seen enough? I need you to understand. You are considered to be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, it's literally, you are always potentially the Dark Lord if you get angry enough.
But since you're here, I suppose I can't stop you. What? While under my supervision, I'm prepared to overlook use of excessive force. Besides, we can't just allow the cult to carry on this way. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Why did he stutter?
Also, Mina entrusted me with you. It's for you.
I'm sure that will not be important later.
What? A letter? And a talisman? Dearest Soma, if you're reading this, you've probably gone after that cult. I had a feeling you would when you disappeared after that incident. I know that you worry about me, Soma, but I worry just as much as about you too. I won't ask you to come back right away because you're way too stubborn. But please promise me that whatever happens, you'll come back unharmed. Oh, and don't forget about the talisman. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Wink, 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 wink. I'll be praying for you. Always, Mina. Mina-san! Or would it be san? No. What do you say for girls?
Chan, I guess.
Chan. Yeah, that's right. Mina-chan.
And there's a voice clip later where Mina says Soma-kun. Literally in this game.
Oh man. Brief me on the situation. What have you discovered? Sure. I described what I had learned so far to Arikado. Understood, but the fact that Celia mentioned a plan doesn't sound good. The only thing I can do is keep climbing towards the top floor. Fine, you do that. In the meantime, I'll try to track down Dario's whereabouts.
That guy's Alucard, by the way. They're still doing this.
So
also, we have to do some farming, but
that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
That's literally the one.
Lilith is literally in like every game. I think Lilith is like an actual thing in history, like a female.
I guess so.
But
something. Yeah, Lilith. It's usually like Lilith is the low tier one, then Succubus is the high tier one.
Yeah. Okay, so. Wait,
I need one more. Hopefully, I get it in one try.
That would be based. I was gonna go into something.
This one's
and I completely forgot.
Manticore's better for this.
We got this. No! Ooh, that's cool. Goes into a vortex of himself. Oh yeah, I forget off the top of my head, but I know like the Japanese I don't know what you would call them, like things you say on the end of their names. I guess it would be to
suffixes.
Suffixes, yeah, that's a great
or
word.
honorifics, I guess they're like technically called.
So without looking up, it's kun, and then senpai, and then sensei is like the highest.
It's right? Like we're talking about a bad Atlas like fan translation right now. I hate talking about Japanese suffixes.
But it's a thing, Kojima.
Yeah,
Nice,
we
you
got it. Yeah, Chan, Kun, San, Senpai.
I call our one employee Noah. I call him Noah Kun.
And I'm sure he's just like, okay.
I asked him. Yeah, I asked him. I was like, "Can I call you Noah Kun sometimes?" And he said, "Sure." And I was like, "Okay." And then one day we had a really tough day. I said, "No, Noah Senpai, we made it," and he laughed. I don't even know if Noah likes Japanese stuff. I just know he likes Nintendo.
I don't think he's a weeb. I think he's just a Nintendo-year-old. The coolest Nintendo-year-old.
Yes, he's very cool. But yeah, I've never seen him be like...
Oh, this is a gimmick room. You can change the orientations of these rooms. There's like a bunch of treasure in like most of the like rooms, like 5, which are like end like pieces, but most of the stuff I do not need at all. Although there is one dagger in here called the Cuttle, or this translation says it's the Qatar. I guess that's the more accurate translation. And speedrunners use the Cuttle because it has like this special attack where you like phase through walls, and it like just ruins this game. But I just need one thing.
Cool.
No, wait. I just need to get up into the top left, and I don't even need it for right now. I just need it for later. I hate these puzzles so much.
What do you have to get to the top left?
Just like some way to get into the top left. There we go.
But you can. Oh, the top right, you mean?
Sorry, top right.
Okay. I was like, what? I won't harp on it, but I will say that it is very interesting to me how prevalent and popular Japanese culture is compared to American culture right now in America. Like
it's been getting more and more popular every single year. It's so weird.
Like manga sales outsell comic book sales like so much. I don't carry at the store new manga because, in my opinion, I think $10 to $13 for a single book is a little much.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. So we only keep them used so we can sell them like $5 a piece kind of thing. But dude, it's like I don't know, like 85% of all books sold, like only 15 or 20% is American comics. Like that's how big Japanese.
Recently, Shonen Jump did this there's this new series. Well, it's a couple years old now, but it's called Jujutsu Kaisen, and it just like broke like so many like Shonen Jump like records for volumes sold, and like it outsold like One Piece and like Naruto and like Dragon Ball, and it's like, what's going on?
That's absolutely crazy. I mean, it's great. I'm really happy to hear that. The other, like, even just small stuff, and again, this is just very small sample size, like, just talking about our single store, so there's literally 10,000 video game stores in the country, or however many, whatever. But, like, the only Funko Pops and figures that I'm willing to take a look at, like, nowadays, just because the economy's been pretty bad, is, like, anything anime. Like, I'll still buy any anime Pops, any anime figures. The only other exception I make is horror, because horror fans are, like, really hardcore.
Yeah. And we don't even see them that often.
No. So, yeah, if I ever see horror, I'm like, yeah. But, like, people are constantly trying to sell anime figures, and honestly, I'm always like, yep. Just because it's, like, it's just so popular. And I'm not even talking about, like, just DBZ and, that stuff. It's like way more.
We're switching to great swords right now. I just needed Lilith, and we can get a really good great sword for the time. But I just want to show you. So we needed great armor for the second tier, or this is the third best, or the third tier of the great sword ascension. So we needed great armor, which is pretty rare in vanilla. And for this one, for the Durandal, we need Valkyrie, which Valkyrie is like less than a 0.5 chance in the vanilla game. Now it does show up in the like the cathedral place, but man, that is rough. And the Durandal in this game is the best weapon that they give you as an item pickup, like in a room, and it's in one of the last areas in the game, and we just made it right now. So that's how little this game gives you anything. So Lilith makes Dane's Lift, this is a really good sword. So it increases my strength, constitution, and intelligence by 666, because epic number. It's a double sword. It's really strong. It's not as strong as the Booge that I have right now, but it's way faster. But this is the weapon I'm going to be using for a long time. 6 intelligence boost is like one of the best in the game. And as the only bad thing about the Dane's Leaf is that it has dark attribute, which isn't like necessarily bad, but a lot of things resist it. But yeah, very good sword.
Let's go.
So if you're playing this game, I would say you should get the Dane's Leaf, whatever it's called. And you can probably carry yourself for the rest of the game with just that. Don't need this anymore.
Strong bad, no! The only thing I will say, just to finish talking about the Japanese culture stuff, is manga's killing it, anime is killing it. I obviously it's hard to know like stats on like how much anime is like streamed and stuff. I mean it exists, but I don't know it. I guess the only thing that is like I'm still waiting to go crazy is like video games. It seems like people are less willing to get into like hardcore Japanese games than they are like manga and anime. I maybe I'm wrong there, but I feel like and I'm not talking about games just made in Japan, like Zelda and Mario. I don't consider to be like Japanese games, right? Well, I'm talking about like hardcore RPGs, you know, Persona, NIS America, whatever.
Actually, Persona just posted a thing where Persona 5 just surpassed 10 million sales.
What?
Which is crazy.
Okay, never mind.
But Persona 5 has been re-released like a bunch of times now.
I guess it is I don't want to say 10-year-old game, but maybe.
It's getting close to there, for sure.
That's still a very impressive number.
I hate Quetzalcoatl's.
Yes, it's I guess Persona's like the one
it's
the rule.
It's the one outlier.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think Persona is so popular because it's more like a Japanese like visual novel than like a Japanese game.
Right.
It is an RPG, but like you cannot tell me with a straight face that all the dating sim elements of that game and like how much it panders to like people like that does not affect sales positively in its way.
I'm certain it does. Yeah, I wonder if we ever get to the point where like some random small tier JRPG like I don't even know if they make them anymore, but like the Atelier Renoa series ends up being like even AA level would be like pretty crazy to me.
I know that Rise of games have been like the best selling Atelier games. Alright, so we're fighting Puppet Master. This is the start of the second tier boss music, which I love. I love this song so much. This is another fight where Hellbore is really good.
This is also... I've never played this game, but I feel like I've seen this boss before. Like, maybe it's used for...
Yeah, this boss is pretty cool. So I have to attack the puppets that he has, otherwise they'll switch with my body. And when you get switched with in the Iron Maidens, it takes so much damage. On hard mode, it's probably going to take like 200. Cool. So that's a fight where Hellbore and Manticore, like, just body it. I picked up a blue soul called Devil. I'll show it off right now. Devil is like one of the best souls in the game, but it's very high risk. So you enter a pact with a devil to sharply raise your strength. And they're not kidding. On the right, plus 85 attack. But it does reduce my defense to 0, and as you can see, it takes 10 damage every, like, what is that, half a second?
Wow.
But, like, when you're watching, like, a speedrun or something for this, or, like, really high-end play, they'll use Devil, because it's God tier. It literally increases your attack by, like, ×3, if not more. But on hard mode, when things are taking so much damage, and you're getting mitigated a lot anyway, even with Devil, sometimes it's not really worth it.
Makes sense.
But also,
I
am a scrub. Alright, so we just got a Puppet Master, which is like a red soul that switches our body with the puppet that we throw. And that's used for some progression. I also need Killer Clown as, there's 3 souls in this game that you need to get for the best ending, and Killer Clown is one of them. So I'm hoping that I just get it randomly. It'd be pretty cool. I'm just gonna farm it now, so I don't have to worry about it later. So Ghost Dancer... 3 sevens. Give it to me, dude. Alright. 3 more times and I'm going up. I am going to fight more killer clowns, like, as the game progresses, so it's not like a huge deal.
This one? No.
I got the rare drop.
This is to earn.
One more.
This is to earn.
One more.
This is not the one. That's how you gotta do it.
Alright, Elfin Robe, Triangle. Alright, so both the places for Puppet Master progression is in the Dark Chapel. You can either go up to the tower, or you can go down to this, it's called Subterranean Hell, which is like the water level. I'm going to go down to the water level because there's some incredibly good armor down there. And it's going to help immensely for stuff in the future.
Love this Baroque harpsichord? Maybe
I'm going
organ?
to turn up the... This game has a great soundtrack. I think Aria Sorrow has a decent soundtrack, but it's kind of hampered by the GBA sound chip. I don't know what Circle of the Moon did, but Circle of the Moon is has a really good soundtrack despite the GBA sound chip. But Harmony of Dissonance especially, but also Aria Sorrow, it is not the greatest in my opinion.
Such a specific ability to get past, like... I understand that's exactly how these Metroidvanias work, but it's like... there's kind of a small spot that you can't quite jump through, and it's like, oh, just throw a puppet through it, idiot. Idiot! Because it's mostly like, things are too high, get double jump. Things are even higher, get high jump. You know what I mean? Castlevania Symphony of the Night, there's a gate, become mist. That kind of thing. But this, it's like, there's a small hole, but big enough to put a puppet through. It's like, oh yeah, you gotta get the puppet ability, dumb butt.
Alright, so we're fighting probably the worst boss in this game, in my opinion. It's the water boss. And they do the meme where you can't swim, but it can swim, so you're just kind of waiting for it to pop out. It is a bad boss.
All I have to say is water levels are always the best.
This is the first fight I'll actually be using Devil. Without Devil, this would take eons.
Gotta remember that. Remember that seal.
So the move we don't want to see is this one. He always starts with this move, but holy crap, it takes so much damage. Luckily, Soma's hitbox is deceptively small. It really is just like a column between his neck more than anything. Okay, I'm just sucking. But please, stop using the spiral move. You piece of shit. I mean,
No!
Piece of poo-poo.
I'll try to remember to
I'm
to
sorry.
that. I'll try.
I don't even swear that often.
It's true. But yeah, we'll do our best. If not, mature rated. Although I mean, we play enough.
We play games that drop F-bombs constantly.
Yeah. I mean, half the games I play are mature rated horror games, so it is what it is.
I hate this boss.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you only get him... I know what you mean. You only see him for that, small period of time. It's just kind of alright.
Yeah.
Can you jump on those?
You can, but there's not a whole ton of reason to.
Soma's the best wader in the entire world ever. He, barely has to do anything to wade.
So back to Great Armor, yeah.
Don't tell me. Go underwater. Yep.
You know, I never thought about this before, but this game is very similar to Metroid Fusion, where when you absorb the boss souls in Metroid Fusion, you get abilities. and it's literally the exact same as this game.
Has I don't know if you ever, I think I might have shared it the other day in the chat, but there's a channel called I Finished a Video Game, and he does very like long form looks at series, and he just did like a 7-hour video on the whole Metroid series. Has Metroid Prime 1 been like, is it still looked at fondly with time, or is it one of those things where it's like, nah, it's showing its age kind of thing?
Did that guy say that he didn't like it?
He said he loved it.
I think people still really like that game.
I didn't know if it was one of those things.
I have personally never been a huge fan of any of the Metroid Prime games. The second one's probably my favorite, but the change to 3D had a lot of implications with Samus's movement. And when I play 2D Metroid, like, my favorite things to do in that game are, like, shine sparking, which is, like, a really fast running thing, and, like, space jumps and screw attacks. It's not really the shooting too much, but the Metroid Prime games, like, the first one doesn't have screw attack at all, and the space jump is just basically a double jump in that game. And they have the screw attack in Metroid Prime 2, but it's, like, very awkward. Like, you go into, like, a third-person angle, and, like, you're locked into a certain, like, position. And the games are good, don't get me wrong. I like the Prime games, but I have never liked them as much. But I do think that people really like Prime 1. I would say the only contentious one is Prime 3.
Well, that makes sense,
because of not just the waggle, but it's also like how it's very linear. It has a lot of small planets instead of one big one. And also the story kind of holds your hand with the Federation giving you orders, and Metroid fans really hate that. Wow! So Procell is one of the rarest souls in the entire game.
Oh my god.
And it's a white soul, or gray soul. And all it does is increase your mobility in the water slightly. And they made it so rare in the vanilla game. Even with the Solier Ring on hard mode in this ROM hack, I would say, like, you only have like a 10% chance to get it.
That's just bizarre. Something that has generally helped you. The thing that I'm most surprised to find out while watching that video. I'm not quite done. I consume it in like 30-minute time, pieces. Is how like generally bad Metroid games have sold, no matter how good they are. I think Dread was an anti-example and sold pretty good.
I think Dread is like the best-selling Metroid game.
And I would never expect Metroid to sell like Zelda or Mario numbers, but like it would be like yeah, and Super Metroid's considered one of the best games ever made, and it didn't sell really that well. Like comparatively to like a Donkey Kong Country, it's like pathetic. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Dude, even Zelda, I mean, Zelda sells pretty well, but like when you consider that before Breath of the Wild, there's no Zelda game that sold more than 10 million copies. It's pretty crazy to me. And a lot of the, like, man, it just feels like Twilight Princess was the biggest game ever. Like, people just endlessly talked about it. Didn't sell more than 10 million copies. Was on one of the most popular Nintendo consoles of all time. And it just didn't sell.
Yeah, and it was a very early game on the Wii, too, so it had plenty of time to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright, this is another soul I need to get, and Bone Arcs are really scary on hard mode because they shoot out two... Okay. They shoot out two of these things, and they can, like... Oh, man.
Let's go.
Thank you, Bone Arc.
But yeah, I thought that Metroid was one of those series that was like very close to like a Zelda number kind of thing. But no, which is why like legitimately I'm always like, why is Nintendo not just pump out Metroid games every like 2 or 3 years? And like that's legitimately why. Like Metroid Prime 1 didn't sell that well.
And Metroid
Prime 2 sold worse.
It's actually crazy that Metroid has as many games as it does, despite the sales being not that great. Like Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo probably had like an absolutely enormous team and budget compared to like stuff like Link to the Past and Super Mario World, but like it sold like a fraction of the number.
Right.
And when you consider that like after Super Metroid there wasn't like another Metroid until Metroid Fusion and Prime, it doesn't surprise me. But at the time it's like, oh, 8 years without a Metroid, why? It's like,
and yet for some reason they greenlit, and obviously these will be way less budget, but they greenlit Metroid Prime Pinball.
Yeah.
Because they're weird. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that exists. And then when I was scrolling through the video and looking at the sub times, I was like, Federation Force existed! That's right! The weirdest game, the weirdest first-party game ever in history. A game that you're like, hey, remember Metroid Federation Force?
And
no, actually, I do not.
And Federation Force apparently had, like, a pretty long dev cycle, too. It's just the weirdest thing ever.
It's not like... Are we at the point where, like... This is probably stupid to say, but, like... Metroid... The series is called Metroid. It's not called Samus Aran. But... Metroid is Samus, right? Like, you really can't have a Metroid game without Samus. Are we at that point?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like, Federation Force does not have Samus, right? It's kind of like the Halo 3 ODST. It's like all the other people besides Samus. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it's just the Federation Force.
What a weird choice.
I think Samus makes like a cameo and like certain appearances during certain missions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, there's certain series, like obviously Mario is called Mario, so Mario's going to be in every Mario game. Duh. And Zelda's in every Zelda game, and Link's in every Zelda game, although they have the different iterations or whatever. But it's funny because it's called Metro. It's like F-Zero isn't called Captain Falcon, so they could technically make an F-Zero game without Captain Falcon, and I don't think people would like lose their crap as much as making a Metroid game without Samus.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. So yeah, very interesting series. I was very interested to see how the sales numbers were, and I'm like, man, I used to like give Nintendo crap and be like, why don't you just make more Metroid games? And I'm like, oh, because they literally always sold poorly until Dread. And now it's like...
And Dread's a good game, but I think Dread sold just because the Switch is an anomaly that anything sells on it forever.
Well, they're getting to the point now where if they don't come out with Metroid Prime 4, like, soon, it's not going to be on the Gangbusters Switch.
My guess is that that's going to be like a Switch 2, like, launch title or launch year game. So the Eversing armor is really, really good, but I'm actually not going to be using it that much, because it doesn't give int boost, but as you can see, plus 30 defense.
Ooh.
So that's one of the reasons why you should come down here. Getting that, all you have to do is just do a dive kick.
But I could